6:01 p.m. Can we do a pledge of allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
One
nation, under God, indivisible,
indivisible,
with liberty and justice
justice for all.
for all. And we'll take a moment of silence for deceased police officers, first responders. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is public comment. Any members of the public out there that would like to speak?
I don't think we have any.
None? Okay. Seeing no one is indicated a desire to speak, we'll close public comment. I need a motion to approve the September 8th, 2020 Police Commission meeting minutes. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Do we have a second? Is there any discussion about those minutes? Hearing no discussion, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, Chief, correspondence?
There's several letters in the packet for the commissioners. The first one is an identification theft case that Sergeant Coppola handled. Was a large amount of money that was taken from a resident's account, and he was able to work with the bank and the victim, and the bank has refunded her all of her money. She's very grateful for Sergeant Coppola's hard work and dedication to the case. Then there's some other letters. One is from former Commissioner Lisa Labella, thanking us for planter that we sent to her for her years of devotion and work on the commission and other areas in the town. There's a letter from former First Selectman Paul Timpanelli, thanking some officers who had gone to his house at about midnight a few weeks ago because one of his car doors was open and they wanted to make sure it hadn't been broken into. As you know, we've been plagued with car thefts and break-ins. He was very grateful to the officers. The following letter is from members of the VFW Trumbull Memorial Post, thanking the department's quick actions for the arrest. As you are probably all aware of, a car drove into the Vietnam Veterans Memorial on White Plains Road a few weeks ago and left the scene during the night. By the afternoon, the following day, an arrest was made. Officer Bardos and Sergeant Driscoll worked on that case. They did a lot of legwork. Sergeant Pires helped them. We located the car in Bridgeport and made an arrest of the driver of the car for evading responsibility. The next letter is it's an email I received from a resident whose son struggles with some mental health issues, and officers Murphy and Ruiz had gone to their home during a time when he was having a difficult time, and she's just amazed at their professionalism and compassion for her son. They helped calm him. She was just very grateful for the way they treated her son with dignity and their family with respect, and very happy the way they handled themselves, and so am I. As you know, the department became accredited recently from the Police Academy. The next is a commendation letter that I gave to Lieutenant Doug Smith, who did most of the work for the accreditation for several years. And he really helped carry the weight of that determination from the state. There was a lot to be done, and he helped us get there in a big way. So I wanted to thank him. And then there's a couple of letters thanking residents and some organizations for food that they dropped off to the police department, thanking the officers for the work they do. Another letter for two officers who helped somebody who had locked themselves out of their car. A letter for Officer Ruiz for helping a family whose dad who'd become ill, and he went to the house, very compassionate, and helped EMS with the illness. And then final letter is a Trumbull resident who's a member of the Girl Scouts, raised her own money, saved her own money, and brought in some snacks for the officers on an evening shift a few weeks ago. So very nice of her. Calls for services, as you see, there were 1,928 for the month. There were 209 motor vehicle enforcement cases, which is up significantly from last month, and we hope to see that trend continue. The officers have been encouraged to make more motor vehicle stops. They have. They've been doing a good job. Appreciate the uptick, and it's just about a matter of making contacts with people, not necessarily tickets, just contacts with people. The next case page calls for services about our larcenies, motor vehicle thefts, burglaries, thefts from cars. As you can see, those numbers are still up. A total of 143 criminal cases in the month of September. And we continue to be very active. The town has been, as like I've said earlier, literally, not just us, the state plagued with people stealing cars and entering cars that are unlocked at night. And I say it every month, really can't stress it enough that people lock their cars and take their keys in, because almost every single one of them is an unlocked car. And the stolen cars all had their keys left in them. And 103 alarms during the month of September, for a total of 1,904 cases for the entire month. The arrest summary, there were 38 adult arrests during the month of September. And it ranges from drug cases, larceny cases, risk of injury cases. This is just a list of all the officers involved in the arrest that they made. Moving on to the canine activity, they've done, in September, did several days of training, certification for their working with our ERT team and for their training themselves, both canine. Traffic report, as you can see, the first page is something, it's some of the locations in town where people have complained about speeding motorists or violating stop signs that are posted. So we put that out to patrol all the time and ask them to do some selective enforcement in those areas. The traffic officer, Kyle Siljamaki, had 67 cases of traffic related matters in the month of September. Some of them were car seat installations, funeral escorts. He placed a speed trailer at certain locations and the speed signs in certain locations in the town. And then the next page is his traffic report, basically another way to break down his work that he's done through the month, whether it's giving warnings for speeding, tickets for speeding, other moving violations. And distracted driving grant, we do not have this year. With COVID, we didn't really think it was something that would be worthwhile at this point in time. But the officers, as I said, are doing more traffic stops, so that it's basically the same type of a thing. They're out there making contacts. Detective Division report, they have 33 open cases. And then the monthly status report just lists kind of a thumbnail of each one of the cases that they're working on. If there's any specific questions, I'd be happy to answer those if anybody has anything. Okay. And then just past that are the monthly activity reports for the school resource officers. Each officer breaks it down. Officer Bartosik, Officer Duva, and Officer Fedorowicz, who was at Hillcrest this year. He's our new SRO. So if there's any questions there, as you can see, there's fire drills they work on. There's all sorts of things that they're involved with. Committee meetings, district safety committee meetings.
I have one question regarding the SROs. There's been some discussion in some political circles about the validity and the effectiveness of the SRO program. How has your relationship been with the Board of Education, the Superintendent's Office, and the school administration?
It's been great. I can tell you, since we've restarted the SRO program with Dr. Chiaffi, Ayasagna, and now the new superintendent, Samil, it's been great. They're very positive. They're very pro-police. They've invited us into the schools. The school resource officers teach different health classes. They teach DARE to every fifth grader in the district. which is really good because it acts as a transition for them to move into sixth grade when they go to middle school. It's been a really good great relationship where we work with the security people, but even the administrators at in the Board of Education, all three that I just mentioned have been nothing but very supportive and very happy that we have the school resource officers there. They're grateful and they're happy they're back.
Did you in
and-
fact receive a letter from the chairwoman of the Board of Education, Lucinda Timpanelli, about her support for the program?
Yeah, I did. In fact, she sent a letter. She copied me on it to Senator Murphy, who had there was some discussion a couple of months ago from his office about funding the programs. There's a grant that departments have used to fund the program. Well, one, I can tell you, we are not a part of that grant, so we would not be defunded from the federal government because we don't have the grant. So we don't rely on the government to support the program. Secondly, Lucinda is very positive, very pro-police, is great to work with as the chair of the Board of Ed. She's always, she thinks it's a wonderful program, and so do I, because we're there to prevent things from occurring before they become more than what they already are. And it has nothing to do with arrest. It's just a matter of being another trusting relationship that some of the students can go to in times of need, or it's just another resource for them to be able to reach out to and have working for them and with them. So it's been very successful, is what I would say.
Okay, thank you, Chief.
Yep. The training division has listed, all the training that everybody went to in the month of September. We have to go to legal update training, basic instructor development training we sent an officer to. There's a whole list. You can see CPR training all the officers have to go to and to keep their status as first responders. And after that is the cadet program. They had 3 months in the ranking members of the cadet program meet with Officer Fedor and Lieutenant Weir, just to talk about how the program's running and what they're going to do for this school year. So they had 3 meetings, as you can see. Sick and injury report. We had 46 shifts in the month of September, which really isn't too bad. That's actually, it's pretty good. So we're doing good with the sick report for the year so far. And then if you go to the budget line, you can see the overtime is actually below where we could be year to date. We still haven't had that big uptick in people taking a lot of vacation time. So at some point that's going to change, I suspect. And that's really about it. We're pretty much right where we should be for the year to date overall. And Assistant Chief Burns tracks that all the time. He and I talk about how we can continue to make that as efficient as possible.
Good.
And then under new business, there was a request for a no outlet sign on Red Fox Lane. My understanding is that Public Works did reinstall that sign in the last few days, so that's done. It's more of an advisory. It has nothing to do with traffic control or speed control or anything like that. So, but I did want to bring it to the commission's attention and let them keep the commission aware of the signage there. And then I think, might be jumping ahead. Hold on a second. I'm sorry if I have.
All right, Chief, you're moving pretty fast. You're doing well.
I think I jumped ahead. I did. I'm sorry. I apologize. If we can move on to old business, the post accreditation tier 1, as everybody knows, I talked about it already. We were approved. We're good to go. We're going to start working on tier 2. And then if I can go into the new business, I already took care of item number 1 there. Item 2, authorized strength. So currently we're authorized to have 81 police officers. Another grant that we applied through the COPS office, through the U.S. Justice Department, allows us to, which was approved, $125,000 to pay for an additional officer to the department. So the First Selectman's office has approved this. I would like to have Assistant Chief Burns talk about it a little bit more because he had a lot to do with this. and getting it approved and what we'll actually use that officer for. So if I might, I'd like to have Assistant Chief Burns speak to this.
Thank you, Chief. What we received, we applied for and received as a DOJ grant through the COPS office that represents community-oriented policing services. It was offered at the very beginning of the year. We applied for this. It's an initiative in which police departments put forth a problem or an area specific to any town where they would like to dedicate the resources. The idea being police departments getting in touch with the community. What we did was identified our shopping mall as the so-called neighborhood that we are addressing as an area of focused effort with policing, whereas we would assign one officer specifically to that patrol area to address community issues and crime prevention. The application was awarded in June. And the way we would work now is the police department would identify and assign one officer to that assignment on a full-time basis. And what the program provides is 3 years of funding for an entry-level officer in return for the one that we would assign. It's a 3-year commitment plus a 1 year beyond that for retention in a decreasing funding model over the 3-year period for a total of $125,000. So our next move would be to address with the town, right up to the town council, the additional position that would have to be added to the department, with the understanding that one officer would be dedicated to this program for the next few years.
Does it have to be an officer that gets hired, or can be an existing officer?
No, the understanding is we can assign an officer of our choice, and that would be our decision, likely with an experienced officer to take this role and work independently. And the funding is for an entry-level officer. That would understandably be a trade-off.
Gotcha. Okay.
Thank you. Are there any other questions on that?
Does it require a vote, Chief? Or we already voted on this, didn't we?
Well, I think the commission should anoint or approve the authorized strength going from 81 to 82.
Yep.
So I would like the commission to
Make a motion?
have a vote. Yes.
Yeah, could we have a motion to authorize the strength of the police department to go to 81, from 81 to 82 officers?
I'll make
that
We
motion.
have a,
Yep, from 81 to 82. I'll make that motion.
And I'll second it.
okay. Do we have a second? Any discussion? Any discussion?
Nope.
No
On my part.
discussion. Come to a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Aye.
Any abstentions? The motion passes.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, the next item on the agenda is, what's that?
No, go ahead.
Is the Old Town Road Bridge project. We have Bill Maher, town engineer, to give us a, not an update, but a report on that. Bill?
Yes, good evening. Can I share my screen so I could?
Yes, go ahead.
Please do.
Anything come up yet?
Yeah,
Can
we
you
can
see
see.
my, can you see the plan?
Yes.
So the reason for us here tonight is just to bring to your attention that there's an upcoming project that will probably be spring of 2021. And it has to do with the reconstruction of the bearing plates on the Old Town Road Bridge. This intersection between Quarry Road and White Plains Road is very, very busy. I've asked that we plan the work to be done at night. Only because of the fact that this is with the Quarry Road traffic and the road on, all the traffic on Old Town Road going on to Route 8. It's very congested in the morning and the evening hours. There will be a portion of the time that we'll probably need to do a lane closure during the day because they have to mill after they repair the bearing plates and the stiffeners, which they'll be doing from underneath. They're gonna have to mill the road and put the membrane on, and that may take more than one shift. So it's really just informational. I mean, there's quite a bit of work that has to be done. They're gonna jack the bridge one beam at a time, replace the bearing plates on either end, and then lower it back down for traffic in the morning. I just wanted you folks to be aware of the fact that this is gonna happen. I didn't want, if you have any comments or requests that you would like me to include in the project, this is why we're here.
What's the time frame, Bill?
This will probably be a month. But it probably won't be, it hasn't gone out to bid yet. And it won't be going out, it won't be going out to bid until early spring 2021.
No, okay, all right. Does-
Thursday night, we're gonna have a public informational meeting, just to put the public aware of it. It's a requirement for the grant, part of this being paid for under a local bridge grant. I don't know if you're familiar with this bridge, but this bridge is a large span bridge for the town to have responsibility for. It's an expensive proposition.
Okay.
Any questions?
Commissioners?
It's all gonna be worked on at night and they're gonna be open for normal morning traffic?
Yes. That's the intent. It's both sides of the bridge. I mean, they'll have to, it's, the bearing plates go all the way across from the span, and all of them are bad. So they'll have to work from like north to south or south to north, and, one beam at a time.
Okay.
Okay. Any
Does this-
questions?
Are there any questions, commissioners?
Bill, I have one question, and maybe you said it, I just missed it. How long will this project run for?
It'll probably be about a month.
Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you.
Does this require a vote?
No, I don't believe so. I mean, it's really just, I wanted to bring it to your attention so that, when we got there, everybody goes, nobody told us.
Yeah, okay, all right.
Just an update.
You
That's
know.
good.
That's not picking.
I
So,
mean, if there is comments, if you think it was something that we should include or, I mean, we're open for suggestions and,
yeah,
please reach out to me if you think of something later on, but I know the Quarry Road traffic, there's a lot of people coming out of there. I mean, even
Yeah.
at nighttime traffic could be a problem with the movie theaters if they're back in session.
yeah. So again, what time of the day will they be working actually? Do you have any idea? Is that too soon?
I talked to Deputy Chief Cinto this morning, and in order to cover the shifts for police officers, we'd probably be asking for 10 to 6 so that we have the most availability of manpower.
Okay, so you're gonna hit rush hour on the back end.
No, 10 to 6
No,
at night.
At night,
And
Overnight.
Just at night. Oh, that's
overnight,
Yes.
Commissioner.
all right.
That's better. Yeah, much better.
Mhm.
Okay. on a somewhat related topic, but not on this. How's the time frame for the Strobel Road construction project?
Dover Road still looks like it's on target for having it completely paved by the end of November. The project will still go on to early spring 2021 because there'll still be, retaining walls that they have to stone face and planting and landscaping that still needs to be done. But the bulk of the project should be out of the way by November, end of November.
How far ahead of schedule are they?
Originally, it was supposed to be like June or July.
Yeah, he's way ahead.
So they've picked up a couple months, which is, the COVID-19 when the school closing helped them a lot.
Yeah, in a mild winter.
Yes.
Okay.
Bill, who's doing the work on the bridge on Old Town Road again?
We have not put it out to bid yet, but we'll keep you informed about who the contractor is.
Okay. So we don't expect it to begin anytime soon.
No.
Okay, thank you.
All right. if
Just
there's
a
no-
quick update on the trail through Trumbull Center. We will be rebuilding the parking lot at Tate Road. And we'll be closing off sections of that parking lot starting next Monday. We plan on putting on a public informational sign out by the Helen Plum Building Thursday, just to let the weekend people know that they're going to be limited parking there.
I know that's a nearly impossible thing to do, given the condition, the surrounding area. But is there any place for parking whatsoever that's going to be added?
Well, there is parking at Whitney Avenue, the trailhead there. There's a trailhead on Old Mill. Yeah,
Off of Daniels Farm.
yeah. No, sure.
Park Street?
Off of Old Mine Park. There's a whole
Well,
parking lot.
I want to ask, that's good. That's good. I'm glad you brought that up because Old Mine Park is a town park and we have park rangers that are ticketing cars that are not from Trumbull. So maybe this is a discussion we should have with the park commission about allowing people outside the town to park in there without getting ticketed. Because frankly, there is no parking on Tate Road at all, none of any significance. And I'm afraid at some point, the people in Starbucks and CVS are going to complain about all the cars parking in their lot and using the rails to trails.
Well, Ray, the same thing's happening at the Fitness Edge parking lot. People
The
are
what?
parking in that lot.
The what lot?
Across from Old Mine, the Fitness Edge lot. People are
Yeah,
parking in that lot to
Yeah.
access the trail. When it was COVID, it wasn't a big deal, but as things are starting to get back to normal, it's, becoming a little bit of an issue.
Well, maybe
But,
at some point we will have a discussion about that and possibly approach the park commission about easing up on letting out of towners use Old Mine Park for the rails to trails. So, all right, well, that's for another evening, another discussion. All right, anything else you want to add, Bill?
No, I think that's it for now. Those are the major projects.
All right, thank you. Any commissioners have any questions of the town engineer? Okay,
Questions?
thank you very much.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, Bill.
All right, we're gonna leave.
Chief, is there anything you want to add?
Yeah, there's one thing I failed to mention earlier. The commissioners are aware that Officer Targowski retired from the department recently.
Yeah,
I just wanted to thank him for his over 30 years of service and wish him all the best in the future.
yeah, good man. Thank you.
Yeah, sir.
All right, additional business, any additional business any commissioners would like to have discussed? Okay, hearing none. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn, please.
Second?
Second? All right,
Second.
we have a second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None? Okay. Thank you very much, gentlemen.